Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report here, and it's mailbag time. Friendly reminder, this was recorded on Tuesday, May 16th, so if anything changes, please don't hate on me too much. I wanted to get you guys some content before I went on my trip to Cancun. Kendrell says rebuilding, hands down. Yeah, I mean, this is a coaching staff that probably does want to rebuild. I mean, the Raiders have not had a lot of success in a very long time, and they probably think, okay, the more depth we get, the more pieces we can build. If we build it the right way, then that's where they need to go. The problem is, some people don't necessarily believe in what they're doing. Kendrell, love the show. Raiders! Kendrell, you're a real one. And if you love the show also, don't be afraid. Hit that subscribe button. Let's go to Dab City Bullies. With Jacobs and Adams not happy, will their performance be subpar? Why not trade them and get the best value? We will rebuild. I mean, Jacobs and Adams might not be happy right now, but winning cures all, right? And just because Adams isn't happy, I think he's more just unhappy of the team's rebuilding, and he wants to win right now. And the reason why you don't trade him is because if you trade away Davante Adams, you're still going to pay him $30 million this year to not have him on your roster. So for that reason, that doesn't make any sense. And then Jacobs, if you trade away Jacobs, you better get a first-round pick because the draft has already come and gone. So if you trade away Jacobs, you better get a first-round pick in 2024, and you better do it with a team that you hope is a bad team because I don't understand if they did. It would make no sense to me. Raider, yo, Mitch, we need to draft Caleb Williams, perfect quarterback that compete with Mahomes and Burt. Just looking at the bigger picture. I hear you. The only way you're getting Caleb Williams is if you have the number 1 overall pick. I even think the team that has the number 1 overall pick, the amount that you're going to have to get him, so that means you want the Raiders to win 3-4 games this season, maybe even 2. If you don't have the number 1 pick, I don't see you getting Caleb Williams. PG, snorkel and room jacuzzi. I am going to Cancun, so I might be snorkeling a little bit. Lord Body Bear, I told Mitch on Locals yesterday that something crazy was going to go down while he was gone. I'm calling it. Are you ready, Chugs? It's going to happen. A reminder, if something does crazy go down while I'm in Cancun, don't worry. Jeremy's got you covered. We will go live here on the Raiders Report, but it's going to be with Jeremy Chugs, and I might try to Skype in or something in that regard to also talk about it. I might have a few drinks in me, though. But no matter what, 365 days out of the year, we got you covered. There is something that's called the Chat Sports Curse, which was every time Tom would leave, the Cowboys would do something. Harrison's Bears do something. Raiders, we'll see if the Chat Sports Curse lives. John, if something goes down while you're gone, we will get Chugs messed up. That's all I could ever hope for. I want to see Chugs live on the show going, Raider Nation, what's going on? That's what I want to see. NX, why would the Raiders cut Matthew Butler? The Raiders would cut Matthew Butler because they regret drafting him. I got a source flat out told me Raiders regret drafting him. They also don't know how good he is, and that's why he was a healthy scratch so many times last season. They also drafted Byron Young. They drafted Nesta Jade Silvera. I mean, if he's the 6th or 7th defensive tackle on that team, it's tough to keep 6 or 7 DTs. Do the 53-man roster. Let's go to K-Man the Beast. Who do you think will do better, Amari Burney or Robert Spillane? I mean, in year 1, it's going to be Spillane because he's going to have the opportunity. Spillane's going to be the Raiders' starting middle linebacker. I'm under the impression he's going to wear the green dot on his helmet, so that means that they view him as not a captain, but captain status. Like he's going to be the quarterback of the defense, essentially, and it was one of the reasons why they went out and they got him because they thought that he'd be good fit for that room. I think Amari Burney in year 1, more than likely just going to be a special teams guy. Might get a few opportunities on defense, but Robert Spillane's going to be your starting middle linebacker, so because of that, I'll go with Spillane. Travis Hunter, you're next up here on the Raiders Report. Thoughts on the Raiders signing Rashaan Evans? This would be the linebacker I'd go out and get. Like just pure linebacker in terms of it not costing a lot, fit for this team. You go back and you look at a video I did, I'm going to say right after the NFL draft, I did top free agents the Raiders should sign. Rashaan Evans is on there. He's got the connection with Mike Vrabel. He's got connections with past, Patriots coaches, I'll call them. Also, I think he'd be a good fit overall. If Divine Diablo, you're not 100% confident in him, Rashaan Evans next to Robert Spillane could be an interesting duo. So my question to you is this. Do the Raiders need to sign a linebacker still? Are you confident in the group? Type S for sign, type P for pass. Do I think that the group has potential? Sure. But does the linebacker room scare me? Yeah, I think it's one of the worst linebacking units in the NFL. Let's go to Albert. Why do they keep signing wide receivers? I don't have a great answer for you on that. I think realistically, and I tried to describe this yesterday to one of my buddies I think I described it on Locals. I think the reason why they signed the former Patriots wide receiver is think about like the bottom of your roster. You don't want to have to worry about those guys as much, right? You want to put the concentration on the players that you think are going to be the top 53. So if you have some of the bottom roster players that you're like, all right, this guy's going to know the routine, he's going to know what we expect, he's going to help maybe teach some of those other guys, then that's worth the investment. But in terms of it being a need, no, it's not a need, man. Now, something that you might need is your Josh McDaniels Eats Corn the Long Way t-shirt. Hopefully nobody's offended by this shirt. I've had a few people like, oh, how dare you use our head coach. I'll tell you what, if somebody made a shirt like this about me, I would love it. If you can't take a good joke, that's probably on you. So make sure that you get your Josh McDaniels Eats Corn the Long Way shirt at chatsports.com/Colin. Luis, does Wilson start over Jones? Pina colada boot and have a safe trip, Mitch. Well, we don't have any pina colada here today. Right now, that's correct. I don't know if I'll feel like doing a pina colada boot. I'll make you a deal, though, Lewis. I'll make you a deal. At one point from now until the end of this Raiders season, I'll give you guys a deal for a pina colada boot, and if you hit it, you hit it. In terms of Wilson starting over Jones, I'll say no to that because they want Chandler Jones to start. They want him to be the main player, but I do think there's going to be Tyree Wilson's going to get more playing time than what people believe. Let's go to Wicked Encounter prediction for the Raiders record. You go check out my Raiders record prediction video where I go through all 17 games and give scores. Right now, I would put the over-under for Raider Nation at 8.5. 8.5 wins. So you can go see what I have. Let's go to Paul. Which UDFAs from 2022 are going to make the 53-man roster? It's a good question. I'll say Sam Webb, Isaiah Polomeo. Off the top of my head right now, those will be the UDFAs that make this team. Maybe Sincere McCormick as well. Keep an eye out for him. But those will be the guys that I bet on. Also, I might be even willing to bet on Jesper Horsted. I know the Raiders like him a lot. Jack, trade for Dalvin Cook and trade away Jacobs. No. I don't get this one. Like, you're going to trade for Dalvin Cook. You're still going to pay him $12 million per year. I'd rather you just give that $12 million to Josh Jacobs, who is a much, much better running back. And, you know, we always have the debate here at Chat Sports, like, how good is Dalvin Cook? And I'm glad Chugs is about to show you all this question right here. Is Dalvin Cook a top 10 running back? Why for yes and for no? I think when people hear the name Dalvin Cook, they're like, oh, wow, he's a great running back. He's not a top 10 running back. You go back and you look at last season, you'll see that Cook is not a top 10 back. I get the connection with Kennedy Polamalu, Raiders running back coach, who was previously with Minnesota. But no, I'm not trading for Dalvin Cook. The man don't make any sense whatsoever. Let's go to a guy who loves himself a good door. Who will have the most interceptions this season? On our team, I'll say most INTs on our team this season. Let's go with Nate Hobbs. Let's go with Nate Hobbs. Or Duke Shelley as a sleeper. If they get Peters, though, maybe it's Peters. Israel, what up, brother? Davante found out Josh McDaniels eats corn the long way. I don't think he found out that he eats corn the long way. I think he just found out that this team's in rebuild mode, and when he first came to the Raiders, he thought he was going to be chasing Super Bowls, and now they're just chasing 500 records. Robert, I see us going 8-9 and out of May and Williams possibilities. That being said, two worst, most desperate quarterback needing teams will take them, leaving us a great chance at emerging the next best QB. I mean, to be honest, I think three quarterbacks go in the top 5 next year. The lefty, whose name is escaping me right now from Washington, Penix Jr., thanks, Chugs. That's another quarterback that I know a lot of people like. So, Quinn Ewers stinks. Also stinks. Yeah, I mean, those guys are, no. Unless another quarterback somehow emerges out of there, but 8-9 puts you in a bad spot, which is one of the reasons why I was like, I don't love the Jimmy Garoppolo move, because to me it doesn't make the Raiders a playoff caliber team. It puts you back in purgatory, which is 8-9. Whoop-de-frickin-do. Now, before I head on out of here, remember, you can always hit me up on Twitter and on Instagram at MitchellRens365, and I'm going to do my best while I'm in Cancun to keep you guys up to date on anything news and rumors. But reminder, if breaking news happens, Jeremy Chugs, not me, will be live here on the Raiders Report.